Hi everyone, welcome to DOdaily, Thursday Thoughts. Des here, ready to answer your questions live. Hopefully you're having a great day. Already lost track there. Hopefully you're having a great day, enjoying what you're doing, cracking on with the week, starting to look forward to the weekend. Of course, on a Thursday, that's what I always almost start to reflect on the week gone by and look forward to everything that's in store. There's lots happening at the moment, but as ever, I'll start by letting you know where I am. Of course, DOdaily is my honest and relatable take, so I like to check in at least once during every episode just to let people know that life's full of its ups and downs and this and that happens, and we can be positive and enthusiastic regardless. We can keep pushing on, we can keep finding the most of what we do. So this week, right now, I'm actually so pleased to have got out there and done some activity. Just been for my coaching session I do here in Nottingham. Some hill training with the guys, took part, and I really needed it myself. Really feel good after that, feel much better. And I've needed to feel much better. That's one of the most important things of what I've done there. You know, feeling really good about getting out there after a tough week. In all honesty, I've spoke about it on DOdaily before the part one vlog yesterday on Tuesday. I spoke about how I'd had a tough day and I had to address one or two things, and that's kind of lingered on. It's not gone away quickly, but I've been trying to do all the things I do and getting back to my activity, starting to think about training and maintaining my diet. That's been crucial. It would have been easy to push that under the bus for a few days and not think about it and just resort back to doing the wrong things. But I found the strength to carry on with that, get back to my training, like I say, and I just feel all the better for it. I always talk about the link between mental health and physical health, and today's a classic example. I feel like I'm really getting back to where I need to be, really getting back to top form after that tricky couple of days. What I will say before I go any further, forgot there, if you do enjoy today's episode, if you enjoy the honesty of what the things I say and sort of the answers to the questions, please do get involved. You can always comment, say hello, leave me a question, something for me to come back at. I'll try and answer it the best I can. You can get in touch via any of that social media, scrolling across the bottom. Please hook up. And of course, hook up with me on my personal accounts. Always welcome to that and talking to people. Just trying to be a point of call where people can use me if they need to. You know, even if they just need a bit of conversation, just a bit of interaction in this way. It's great if people get involved. Absolutely love it when they do. You know, and before I get into the crux of Thursday, I think it's important just to remind you that that's available. Of course, if you like the episode, please give it a thumbs up. Even if you don't, give it a thumbs up. It shows great support. It just gets the message shared about across the internet. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. As I said there, all I'm trying to do is just feel a little bit better about everything, you know, and try and be that little bit better when things don't quite work out. And this week's been a classic example. Comment there from Carol saying, "Hi, Des, hope you're well." I'm getting there. If you've watched any of what I've done so far this week, I've had a tricky one. Hope you're well. Hope you're really enjoying it. And thanks for tuning in, of course. It's just, this is just my light-hearted look at the serious and the not so serious things, and just trying to sort of be a source of information for those looking in. The format will be as usual, the throwback question, just trying to help people understand, like, we all appreciate things a little bit differently. Of course, sometimes it's centered around running and activity. Other times it's mental health. Other times it could be all sorts of things. It's just a way of interacting, like I say, and just passing on your thoughts. I'd love people to keep getting involved, as I mentioned before, and this just gives people that opportunity to just let us know what they're thinking, you know. And here, last week, I asked, are you a warm or cold weather fan? Essentially, that was because of activity and how there's a different approach to it. And of course, I love my running and walking. And when it's hot, it can be hard. When it's cold, it can be really hard. What I will say tonight, it was absolutely lovely. It was a warm night, but the rain started coming down. And for a tough hill session in Woollerton Park here in Nottingham, reps up and down, up and down. It was much needed. So tonight I liked it a bit cooler. But all I'm kind of trying to do is sometimes people get a bit bogged down with the weather, the time of year, get a little bit stressed out. It's just show that there's different ways to make the most of it, different ways to enjoy it. Just another comment there for me. Hi Des, hope you're okay. I've been exercising this week and it has helped me a lot. I constantly think that I am fat. Well, you shouldn't think that for a start, Eve. We're all where we are, getting out there and doing some exercise is the most important thing. So well done for getting out. The more you do, the better you're feeling. Get that fresh air, get feeling better about yourself and get feeling confident. Just keep being positive and everything will be okay. So stick at it. I know it's hard, especially in this weather. But again, this is part of the reason why we're looking to answer this throwback question from last week. Kay says she prefers it warm. Sunshine and blue skies automatically make me feel happier. We've mentioned that a lot in the last few months, as the summer's come back. I know just doing DOdaily, it's really hard for me in the winter trying to get out and walk about and film in the dark, in the rain, in the wind. It can be really tough. So when I see the blue skies, I'm straight out by that river, up and down the Trent, filming, doing what I can, trying to make the absolute most of it. Tom says, I like the warm weather because it comes with the longer sunlight hours. Of course, as activity enthusiasts as we are, sometimes it's a case of fitting it in where we can best. It's part of my routine because I do several things around it, like the coaching, like the running groups. So I get lots of opportunity to do it. But some have to sort of work the conventional hours or unconventional hours and find time then to do it in a different time, at a more sort of, I'm lucky I get to do a lot of my activity during the middle of the day or at the start of the evening, but some have to fit it in. So the longer hours definitely are going to help, aren't they? And I can totally understand that as well. Jen says, I love getting wrapped up in the cold and getting out for a walk. Again, it just makes me start thinking, when you have those winter walks, myself and Kay personally just sort of go out, go and find somewhere to walk on a Saturday afternoon when there's not much happening. Come back, have a big pot of stew for tea, and watch something on the TV, wrap up, put pajamas on, and that's all nice as well, isn't it? It's all a nice thing to be able to do when you feel like it. Carl's back in here. Been a long week of illness for both me and my son, so I haven't seen any of your vlogs this week. Need to catch up. Definitely in your own time, of course, whilst I'm encouraging people to watch. I know other people have got things to do and they are quite relentless. I put them on every day, but it just shows that sometimes there is the ups and downs, and perhaps you might just take something from the fact that I was actually feeling really, really rubbish on Tuesday. And whilst I hate having to be that sort of raw and real, it is partly what DOdaily is all about, and it gives people an opportunity to see when I'm infusing all the time about things being great and enjoying this, and Forest got promoted and the cricket's been amazing and I'm getting married and I'm doing the London Marathon. Something always creeps up and bites us on the backside, doesn't it? And that was definitely a case for me this week. So like I said, the whole purpose of the vlog is just to show that we all sort of deal with things and let things affect us differently, and it's just a case of doing the best we can to sort of get to the bottom of the situation. Katie said, definitely warm, although not for training in. Again, some people were not of an exercise persuasion, and I can understand it when it is hot. When it's been really hot in the last few weeks, it's been tough to get out there and find the motivation to do it. As much as I love the blue skies, sometimes it really hurts, but it's a case of working through it and just doing what we can. Ross says, I love to bask in the sunshine with a nice cold drink and some music on. I think we all do, don't we? I'll just let you into a little story. On Sunday afternoon, myself and Kay were procrastinating about some housework. So we just jumped in the car and drove to the seaside. It was 1 o'clock. Fortunately, Kay's mum and dad had got a caravan, and it was Kay's mum's birthday as well. So we got to say happy birthday in person. But spontaneously, we just went down there, and that was amazing. It was lovely to go and do that. And again, just the thought of being in the sunshine at the seaside, it's just just things you can do when it's like that. You can't really do that on a winter's day, can you? So again, just finding a way to make the most of whatever's thrown at us. That's a bit of a one. Love the content, dude. Thanks. I won't read the previous comment. Might look like I'm showing off. Carol says it's part of life, and if it helps others seeing and feeling that way, we all have those days, and we all need to stick together, of course. And that's what I'm trying to show. I'm not trying to be clever here. I'm not trying to get too technical about things. I know I could be a little bit more articulate, and you know, and what I've got here in my head doesn't quite come out on the camera, but again, it's just me. It's just the way I am. It's just trying to be someone who's real, trying not to sort of force the issue with things. And I know when people don't feel great, you know, the last thing you want is someone preaching. So all I try to do is use myself as the example and just keep talking through it, you know, doing my activity, trying to be the example in that sense. And hopefully we can all find little ways to rub off each other and feel better. Question number 1. So to get into the questions, I appreciate all the feedback, by the way. If you've got anything to add, please drop that in. And anything to add to these questions, any questions for next week, please drop them in the comments. I'll pop the email address up at the end. Please drop them on any of the social media, and I'll find a way to get them in next week and answer them the best that I can. But there's a question here from Lisa. It's less than 100 days till the London Marathon now. How's the training going? I've already touched on that a little bit, haven't I? I'm really pleased to get back out there yesterday. Last week, I felt really good about it again. I kicked in with my no drinking, eating healthier, you know, getting out for more runs, feeling good anyway in general. Used the fact I was feeling good and the running and the endorphins to feel even better. Feeling fantastic and really flying along in a good frame of mind with all the things I need to do. And then that blip early this week has kind of knocked me, not completely, which I am glad about. It's not made me think, oh, I need a drink or I need to eat this rubbish or do this. I'm still quite strict with that. It's kind of knocked me with the running because to be honest, I lost a bit of sleep and I've been really, really tired. So tonight was so important. And again, having that accountability of having to go out there and coach and support others. And even when I'm not quite feeling it, I wasn't. I'll be honest now, I really didn't feel it today. I was yawning. I was, you know, sometimes as much as I encourage people to talk, I know it's not easy when you're feeling down to be around people. Kind of felt like that. But by being with them for an hour, doing what we did, talking to them, getting some nice feedback, it's made me feel great again. It's made me start feeling like I'm getting back on track. So yeah, feeling good about it. You know, I need to be a lot further on than where I am, and I need to stop having these little blips. You know, what I'm trying to do all the time is to eradicate the blips and just get that full routine back. Because when I get going, believe me, people might not have seen it for a while on DOdaily. When I get going, I'm really sort of driven and determined, you know, and sort of dedicated to everything I do. I really put it in. You know, I tend to lose weight quite quickly. Fortunately, I put it on at the other end, but you know, that's just how it works. I work really, really hard at the things I enjoy, and I think that's important. I think it's important to try and get that message across. And whilst it's not great sometimes, using the weight as the example, it's not great sometimes because I'm losing it and putting it on, but at least whilst I'm losing it, people are seeing that's happening and thinking, I could do that, you know, and that's the important thing about it as well. Just another comment from Carl, just keeping it real, the only way to be. I think you're doing a great job, so keep going. Well, thanks for the lovely feedback. Really, really appreciate that. You know, it's important for me to get that as well, because I do question myself, do wonder sometimes whether people actually do take something from it. But yeah, I'm just trying to be the example here. And going back to that question, you know, the training is starting to pick up. I'm starting to feel good. That session tonight felt better after that than any of the sessions last week, even though I missed a couple of days. So it's just important for me to keep going out there. Whilst it's hard work, you know, it really is at the minute. I know I can be in a lot better position, so I've just got to stick at it. Thanks for that question. Stay tuned. There'll be lots about London Marathon and training and events in the meantime and things to really work from. And of course, I got out for that part 1 vlog at the weekend. I put that up last night showing my adventures like I like to do on a Saturday morning. Again, gives me more accountability. It's hard work, to be honest, running with a camera and trying to film yourself and trying to speak when you're out of breath and get it all sort of put together. But I love doing it because I love parkrun, and I want to highlight how important it is. You know, it's another part of my week when things are going well and just ticking through. I like to get my parkruns in and then go to a football match in the afternoon and then do my running clubs on Sunday morning. And I get to Monday thinking, wow, what another great weekend. Even if I've not done too much, like things that I wouldn't normally do in a weekend. So I tend to have a great weekend just by filling it with the things I enjoy. So got a question on the back of that here from Sam. Great to see the parkrun vlog back this week. Have you got any exciting parkrun tourism lined up? Well, I went to Ashbourne last week. If you please check out the video yesterday. They're different. They're not quite DOdaily in the sense I'm trying to encourage people to be that little bit better. There is encouragement, and there is encouragement to run. Of course, it's one of my passions, and for those reasons I've just said, it's important for me to keep sharing those and just doing something a little bit different. Breaks up the week, and it's there as well to try and motivate people to really give it a go. And if you're not into exercise, just ease into it and take some of those benefits, or just to check in where you are on a Wednesday. That's a really important thing. Midweek motivation, you know, when things might be getting on top of us, as they did with me. You know, the week started well and then things started to get on top of me. It's just a way of sort of evaluating, taking yourself back, thinking how things are going and taking it forward from there. And again, that's kind of the process I've followed. So in some way, I'm setting the example there, which I'm really pleased about. But in terms of parkrun tourism, there was one last week. I wouldn't expect there to be any this week. It's actually Kay's hen do. So the girls are all going away, and whilst the boys are stopping at home, we could go somewhere, but we've got nothing planned. I'd imagine in the next few weeks, especially when the football returns, I'll definitely be looking to get to some different locations, enjoy my surroundings. Of course, it makes for a great vlog as well, the travel, the different courses. If I went to the same place every week, the vlog would be a bit boring. All I'm trying to do with that as well, just sort of as a side note to that, is work on my own PB. So along with all this training, all this healthy eating and trying to be that little bit better, I'm trying to get back to a point where I was a few years ago. And if I can do that, I'll feel great about everything as well. And it just sort of picks the whole thing up. So yeah, I think there'll be some exciting ones already. I'm looking at Forest at Newcastle on the first game of the season and thinking I could get a parkrun in there. So that's one potentially that I'm looking at. But over the next few weeks, it's going to go a bit quiet in terms of the tourism. I've been at the end of the football season, I was going somewhere different every week, and it was absolutely brilliant. It seemed to be in London every other weekend. But of course, financially and logistically, that's not always possible. So there'll be some local ones. I've got my own stag do. Will I do a parkrun during that? Not quite sure. Potentially, but let's just see how that one pans out. So yeah, lots of exciting ones to look forward to. Nothing really set in stone, but there's definitely some to do. And I'm looking to complete this challenge of doing every parkrun in the East Midlands. I think there's 50 now, and I think I'm just getting up to 40. Ashbourne was another one ticked off. It's just a little thing. It's not even a big challenge. It's just a little thing personally where I think it's actually called a region in parkrun terms. So I'd like to tick all those off just to say I've done it. And it's just another one of those things, and just shows that I'm making the most again of something I get so much from. Wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, I can tie it in with what I'm doing. So yeah, keep an eye out for that one. If you've got any parkruns to suggest to me, if you are of a running persuasion, please drop those in the comments. I'd love to hear where you'd like to see me go, and you never know, I might just turn up and get there for you. Just before I go to question 3, actually, a couple of questions, a couple of comments, sorry. Life is about how you deal with the dips, and you are doing fine. Don't doubt yourself so much. Thanks, Dominic. Really, really appreciate it. You know, really sort of enjoy it when people take something from it. And I know there is some people, I'm not being down on myself. It's just, you know, just doing something like this, you kind of leave yourself wide open. And like I say, sometimes the message doesn't come across, but it's just because I'm real. I'm not trained in this. I'm not an expert. I'm just somebody who wants to relate with people and sort of speak on a level that people understand, because that works for me. When people start getting technical with me and telling me I need to do this and that, kind of switch off. When I see them doing things, when I'm inspired to do something, when they're talking about great things and things that work for them, that's what works for me. So Mark says hello, everyone. Hope all is well. Hi, Mark. Really appreciate you tuning in. And Dawn says Ian wants to go to Leeds Park Run in Newcastle. Well, I've been there, Ian. So there's a story behind that one, but we won't go into that today. But there's Ian feels like he's got a score to settle before last year's Great North Run. We all went there and he didn't get the opportunity to do it because duty called, namely Dawn. So I'm sure he'll get back there, and I'm sure I'll get to a park run somewhere soon as well. So thanks for that. Really appreciate that. Moving on to question 3. Wimbledon is a British sporting institution. What's your favourite non-football event in the sporting calendar? And this comes from John. I like these kind of questions because they're quite easy for me. What I will just say before I go any further on that, please ask me absolutely anything. I will answer it honestly. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a bit too blunt in real life when there's not a camera. I say things as I see them, not to be nasty, just to be completely honest. I feel honest is the best form, and you don't have to watch your step either. If you say what you think, I'm not horrible. I wind it into a point, but I think it's important just to be honest and open. So any questions you've got, and as shown today, they're not that serious. The bit about running, bit about park run, where I'm going to go, what I'm doing, how I'm making the most of things. Please ask me the question. This one, not serious at all, is it? But it's still a great question. Somebody who loves my sport, really, really loves sport. I watch so much, get told off all the time for the amount of sport. I always say I don't watch much television. It was rubbish, really, because I watch all the sport on television. I just don't watch many television programs. So Wimbledon is the sporting institution. It has really got into it this year as well. Really enjoying it. Problem is, matches can go on forever, can't they? I watched a match the other day. It was on for 6 hours. But again, something just to be really inspired by and see the determination and dedication from the guys and what they're doing. Of course, I love my football. I love cricket. I've mentioned those things. Forest in the Premier League. Really, really looking forward to that. But I guess my favourite sporting event to watch is, whilst I think cricket is probably my second favourite sport, I go along and enjoy it for different ways. It's not something I get particularly passionate about, but it brings its benefits. It's calm, it's serene, it's different to football, all the euphoria and the excitement. One thing I do really enjoy watching, and they don't come around that often, and I think that's why I enjoy it, is the major golf tournaments. People will go, oh God, boring golf. Don't get it. But if you watch a golf tournament from start to finish, the majors, and you see how things change and chop and change, and players playing under pressure and how they deal with it. Again, somebody who kind of thinks how people tick and what makes people work, and is looking for ways to improve and see how people dedicate themselves to things. It's absolutely fascinating. And the Sunday, Augusta, in America, is just incredible. It's an amazing time. It works well with British TV because it's on in the evening, and I absolutely love it. The British Open's coming in the next couple of weeks. Really looking forward to that. But like I say, John, on that, I watch absolutely anything. I'm prepared to watch all the sport. And even if I don't particularly enjoy it, tennis is one I flit in and out with, to be honest. But this year, like I say, really got into it. Same with the motorsport, similar with that, but I'll give anything a go because I think it's important just to try different things, isn't it? Do you know when people are dismissive and say, oh, I don't do that, I've never done that? Well, give it a try. I don't go to the theatre, but I gave it a try. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it like I enjoy football, but I'll give anything a try once because that's how we sort of learn and develop and sort of broaden our horizons and open ourselves up to different things. And we end up getting even more from life as well from it. So, yeah, I'd encourage people to give anything a try. That's the whole point. All these questions, part one, if you're not a runner, get out there and do it. Do you know, there was a time when I thought I'd never run a marathon. And that wasn't that long ago, just a few years. I had a lot of weight to lose, and I set on this mission to do that. And ultimately, now I've run 5 marathons, done lots of fundraising, do public speaking through this, something I'm not really comfortable at. But all I keep doing is getting out my comfort zone. Just keep pushing myself as hard as I can. You know, I get embarrassed. As you've seen already, there's been a few comments based on it. I get a little bit nervous of whether I've said the right thing or done the right thing. And even through this episode, I've lost my train of thought a few times and had to sort of pull it back in. But I'm my own biggest critic as well. And if I can find the errors and I'm honest enough to say I made a mistake, you know, I don't see it as me battering myself and beating myself up. I see it as trying to sort of just put the errors right, being honest enough to go, I got that bit wrong, you know, and that's all I'm trying to do with all this, whether I've had a good day, bad day, you know, whether I've done the right thing, said the right thing, it doesn't really matter, because we get a chance to go again, don't we? Every single day we get a chance to go again and just be that little bit better. I'm trying to be that little bit better to try and encourage others. I'm not going to force it on anyone. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm going to use myself as an example, try to inspire and motivate people to make some good choices, you know, and just get the most from it. Thursday's all about the thoughts, you know, Thursday thoughts. Keep asking your questions, guys. I'd really, really appreciate that. There's that email address. There's that dorunning.org.uk. Post them on any of the videos, any of the links going across the bottom, any of the social media, and I'll pull them out. It really does help. If you post me a question, sometimes people say, oh, I've got a question for you, but I don't want to post it on there. Just post it. There's no wrong answers. There's no wrong questions. And I will answer it as honest as I can. You know, just trying to be positive and enthusiastic, even when things aren't quite ticking over as they should be. You know, we've just got to keep working through it. Mentioned it in the last couple of weeks. I come straight off this and go straight to the pub and do a pub quiz. You know, again, I'm not comfortable speaking on a microphone as much as I do this. I'm probably a little bit easier at doing this than speaking in public. But we've got to keep pushing ourselves out there. I've done a couple of posts today about getting out my comfort zone on my social media. I think it's important periodically just to keep reminding that we have to do that. That's probably the message to take from this week's Thursday Thoughts. You know, if you can, you know, it's hard, and when you're not quite in the right place, it's even more difficult, but keep pushing yourself to the limit, and I can assure you, you'll keep reaping the benefits and feeling all the better for it. Just a quick comment here for me. I constantly worry about my weight, but I do feel happy when I've exercised. I like running as well, and ran up a hill, which was hard. And that's all it's about, Eve. It's just about keeping going. You know, keep doing it. It is really, really hard. I tell everybody every day, I've been running now for 6 years. I'm not an athlete. I carry a bit of weight myself when I'm not particularly on it. But enjoy the running, and all that will sort itself out. You won't have to worry about it because it'll all go away. Just stay consistent. Keep doing what you do and keep doing it with a smile on your face. Just keep being really, really positive, and all the benefits will come back to you in time. And that's all we can do. Just keep working hard at the things we do. Keep smiling. Keep cracking on. You know, keep doing our best. And I'll be doing that in the morning for Wake Up to Walk. I'll be out and about in the Nottinghamshire countryside. Again, just to sort of wrap everything up, go over what I've said tonight, wrap it all up, talk about the benefits of being out there. And again, doing something I enjoy, some headspace for me. After a busy day today, bouncing from one thing to another, I get a couple of hours. I have to get up really early. It'll mean a 5 o'clock start, driving out for 5:30 and then walking for 2 hours. But that's brilliant because that 2 hours is priceless. You know, I get to sort of just take myself away, think about it all. I try and put it into words for you guys, try and encourage us to be happy going into the weekend, you know, happy Friday and all that. Let's not get too cheesy, but that's what it's about. It's just about being really, really positive. And of course, to end, we always have a throwback question. Whether it's sport or not, I thought it'd be great to throw this one in there. What annual event do you always look forward to? God forbid, it might be Christmas. You know, locally in Nottingham, it might be Goose Fair, it might be Bonfire Night, it might be the Test match, it might be the start of the football season, your birthday. You know, I just like to hear just a line or so why you really look forward to it, what you look forward to. Drop it in the comments now. If you're watching, if you're not live, if you're watching when it's not live, drop it in the comments of the video. Like I said, I'll pull them out and read them out. It just helps people understand that we don't have to be the same. You know, sometimes we're always striving to be like somebody or like what somebody does. This crazy materialistic world we live in with superstars and Instagram, you know, tells you should be a certain way, but that's absolutely rubbish. We can all do it our own way and make the most of it. So until tomorrow, guys, until that episode of Wake Up to Walk, I'll post that at some point tomorrow. Please, once again, give a thumbs up to the episode. There's no excuses. Do it now. I'd really, really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the questions, all the comments, you know, everybody watching. It makes it all worthwhile and it makes me feel even better. And that's so much good feeling to take away from it. So until tomorrow, have a fantastic evening. Just doing it.